Howdy folks, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another episode of the World Ablaze mod with the USA. First of all, again, I apologize if this will be one of those episodes that will look very fast to you. As always, the rule is if you try to understand what I did, just slow down the video, switch off the audio, and put something else in your headphones. So, let's say, first time playing as a democratic nation, first time playing as the United States of America. The USA in 1936 are really badly crippled in term of economy, as they're still recovering from the Great Depression. And this is, I must say, very well represented by this endless amount of negative modifiers that basically will prevent you from training anything, from recruiting anything, and from building anything but civilian factories and infrastructures. And talking about infrastructures, one of, I would say, the opening scene of my campaign was basically to expand the infrastructures in all those provinces which have resources, natural resources that can be, whose I'd say our output can be increased by the infrastructure levels. I mentioned this because I would like to say a couple of words about the World Ablaze mod. I really like the introduction of new resources, and I think it makes the game more realistic. I mean, compared to the in this aspect, I think it's much better compared to the Total War mod. I also liked the implementation of the system that will not allow you to increase steel and aluminum production by just increasing the infrastructures, because if you want to do this, there are specific buildings that you can invest to. Let's say I started this campaign with the goal of building at the end a large air force with which to wage a war of destruction from the air, and let's say prepare my ground forces to be fully mechanized, fully motorized, ready to break through everything and export democracy in the fascist occupied countries. One thing that I must say I did not really like about this mod is the, I would say, excessive presence of nations. And with this I mean that compared to the Total War mod, which kind of condensed some of the nations in South America, like Bolivia, Ecuador, and a few others, I think also Costa Rica, the Dominican Republics, into, I think, Cuba and all the neighboring nations. This, I must say, really had an impact of my game speed, because I noticed that, first of all, while I tried to play a campaign without recording, and this was okay, very fast, very cool, but as soon as I started recording, I noticed an incredible amount of drop in terms of game speed. And this, I must say, did not happen and does not happen with the Total War mod. Also because the Total War mod has one of these game rules that you can set at the beginning of your campaign, which allows you to basically decide whether you want to punish the South American nations with very harsh conditions that will basically lock them and prevent them from building, training, and I think even researching anything, basically. Anyway, I mean, in this opening phases, in this opening phase that lasted between 1936 and 1939, the goal of the United States was basically to drastically increase resource production, build up a strong civilian economy, and keep everything up to date. I know I said many times I'm not really good with playing a naval nation, and I don't know if this was really the best thing to do, but I decided to train all of my ships, because I'm one of those players who doesn't like to go into war with green troops. Maybe because I've been playing Germany too much time, but I really like to have everything up to date, everything fully equipped, everything fully trained. And as such, since the United States starts with a very large navy, I think it's only second or third after the Royal Navy, I put everything into training. And one thing that I realized is that, holy crap, I did not have enough fuel to train all of my ships simultaneously. And at the beginning I was like, maybe I should import some oil from the UK or from France, but then I was like, no, let's not spend civilian factories on oil, because I thought in the long run, just by increasing the infrastructures in Texas and by researching the excavation technologies, I could have basically gained enough fuel for all of my ships and all of my air force. And concerning the air force, I did not really invest too much now in building a large air force, because I wanted to wait until I had the first strategic bomber researched and in production. What else? I got a bit lost in the big focus tree of the United States. That's because I really don't know too much about the history of the US. I really don't know. I mean, okay, as an Italian who got a kind of fascination for the Eastern Front, because this is I think that the front that really decided the outcome of World War II. I was really surprised to see all those many options, and at some point I was really stuck, because there was this focus about the Keynesian, I don't know, economy, and it was like you have to wait for the event, and I was like, when does this event happen? And I was really afraid of starting or going into the wrong focus path, but I mean, at the end everything turned out to be okay without too many issues. And yeah, so again, the United States, they start very crippled. Interestingly, you have a lot of focuses that reduce the penalty on your economy. Also, this is a very good feature of the World Ablaze mod. They really try to mimic the impact that your decisions have on the civilian economy. You know, you cannot just go on the war economy and then just pretend that nothing else can happen on the civilian side. And I think this is very well modeled. In terms of advisors, I've put first of all the advisor to gain some more political power, and then I decided to invest in the guy who will speed up the construction of infrastructures and civilian factories. I did also expand those buildings which will increase the aluminium production, because I realized that the US do have enough coal and bauxite, depots, and with the goal in mind of building a large air fleet of quad-engine bombers, I thought, okay, maybe it's worth investing in this kind of building. And yeah, so I think, yeah, I don't have anything else to say for this episode. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you have any comment or suggestion, just let me know here below. Thank you very much for watching again, and see you all in the next episode.